up? This is AC Alone from the Freestyle Fellowship Project, Blowed, Ace One. Tuned in to Fifth Element Hip Hop. Hey.
Yeah. You already know that it's evident. You're rocking with East God and the Fifth Element. Probably should run for president. The Black Wolf walk in the woods, feel like the Revenant. I had to embellish it, MC on the beat, like OT from the D. Just pass me the rock, I'ma pull it up from the 3. I see strange things like 11, and when I'm on the mic, I get them hype like DJ 7 or DJ Slim in Hollywood like I'm Boog. They know I'm the one, man, the knowledge come from the dreads. This X-Ray son, peace, love, and unity. You gotta give it your best, and you say that you got them bars, well, we gon' give them a test. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You ain't say it right, please say it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yo, 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 what up, though? Y'all know what time it is, man. Another episode of Fifth Element Hip Hop where we represent hip hop in its truest form. That's peace, love, unity, and having fun. And like always, man, we always got some special guests in the building. But before we go ahead and get into that, let me go ahead and introduce my co-host. Y'all know him by Ray Sun, but around here we be like, Ramon.
What up, what up? New week, no smut on our names.
Last time that I checked.
Let's get it, man. This is about to be a very, very dope show. Let's
Yes,
get
sir.
to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And sitting to the right of me is your favorite DJ's favorite DJ, the one and only Blend God, DJ Slim. What up, though?
Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to another episode of not the podcast, but the show.
The
You heard
show.
me?
Right?
And today's supreme mathematics is wisdom power. Wisdom is your wise words, ways, and actions, and power is the mental and physical ability to move something. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir. Yes,
Peace.
sir. And hey, man, look, today's such a special show, man, and we ain't gonna wait to introduce who we got in the building because I'm like, it's legendary. This is what we about. This is hip hop. This is the thing that inspired us to even be able to get into what we're doing right now. And this person was, I want to say he was like intricate in the pouring into us before we even knew what we was going to even be doing
doubt.
this.
No doubt. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And right now up here, it's our pleasure to have the very first host of Rap City, where we used to run home and sit down
you know what I'm saying?
and watch. You know what I mean? To
Every
see every day what videos was coming out and particularly what he was about to do. Because it was always something
what
crazy.
sketch he was about to get
It was always something crazy going on.
And the dance.
Yeah, and the dance,
know what I
everything.
mean?
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
I'm like, yo, it's our pleasure and our honor to have the one and only, the mayor, Chris Thomas, on the Fifth Element Hip Hop today, man. Y'all know what it is.
What's up,
Chris.
Yes.
Hey, man.
I am here.
Thank you.
And thank you all for inviting me. I mean, as I get older, that's the one thing that everyone should want to have in their life, somebody or people who appreciate what they've done.
Absolutely.
Not just many years ago,
Right.
but I'm still doing it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Right. Absolutely. And hey, we all about giving the flowers while you still here.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, and you brought somebody with you who is also someone who has been making like strides in the comedy world, been like did things in the 80s that we didn't know was gonna be pivotal in right now, and like it came all the way up to right now, like the stuff that he's doing in this industry right now, and giving the flowers to all the comedians in this world, because you come from the world of comedy, you know, and to have him sitting up with us is an honor for as well, because we didn't even know that was even going to be part of what was happening. It's a surprise to us too, and it gives us great pleasure to introduce this man, Sir Frank Cooper of the Aha.
What's happening, everybody?
And can I just say, this is the gentleman who, in reality, watched the TV shows like Sanford and Son and The Jeffersons, Chico and the Man, and saw those guys not getting Emmy Awards for their work.
Right.
And he took it out of his own pocket. But better than that, he'll tell you his story so you'll understand. And I was a part of it. I was there to see Aunt Esther, Bubba Bexley, Richard Pryor, and all these people back in the 90s when he started the African American Humor Awards. And recently, a couple of years ago, he'll just tell you, because I know a lot, because I've been rolling with him.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely.
For
Welcome to the
32
show.
years.
Yeah, welcome.
Thank you, guys.
y'all
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Thanks for inviting me in. And I will tell you, I am quite impressed.
Oh,
I
thank you.
walked in and I've seen studios in Hollywood
Exactly.
that look nothing as good as this.
Thank
you. Good job. Good
Heard
job.
that, Big Quan?
You know what I mean? Hey,
Yeah,
and shout out to our engineer Quan, man.
Yeah.
He put this together, man, and it's become the Fifth Element home. So, hey, thank y'all for coming to our house and
Anytime.
hanging out with us and sitting next to our guy Fifth Element fam. Jura is in the building. What up, Jura?
Peace, peace.
Peace to the God. Peace.
What's happening, bro?
What's going on?
Hey, thank you, man, for facilitating this event, man. We appreciate that.
This
So
is just the beginning.
right now, fellas, I don't know if y'all had a chance to look at any of the shows, but we do a little something called the Ray Sun Report, where Ray, he talk about a couple of things that's going on around the country, around the world, and some things that's going on locally. Raymo, what you got for us, baby?
I ain't got a lot, but we're gonna start off with this right here. Number one on there, Quan. This is a hip hop show, and since we had the mayor on here, Kendrick Lamar had a verse on the new Clip song that Pharrell produced. And in that verse, he said, "Let's be clear, hip hop died again. Half of my profits may go to Rakim." So when you hear that, hip hop died again, Nas coined that hip hop is dead on one of his earlier albums.
Right.
When you hear that hip hop died again, can you take that in, and does it feel like hip hop is dead from your perspective?
Well, it's a lot different. And the reason that it is I'm used to people doing tapes
Right.
and selling records.
Right.
Now, if it's died in that, with that perspective,
Right.
But it has not died. I don't know if it was something that he said. Everybody has their own little third eye and vision
Right.
on what hip hop. I'm old school,
Right.
and I'm always going to be old school.
Right.
I mean, there's maybe one or two new hip hop artists. But see, I'm counting this with words. You have all these words in the dictionary and all of these words in the encyclopedia, but everyone seems to
Use the same seven.
use the same set of words over and over.
Right.
So after a while, it becomes repetitious.
Definitely.
And me traveling with all the artists, with Eric B. and Rakim, Public Enemy, Chuck D,
Right.
Heavy D and the Boys, Beastie Boys. I mean, I can go on and on.
Right.
Right.
MC
Your
Light.
resume is crazy.
I mean, I didn't heard it all. I didn't heard it all before.
Right.
Right. It's like to determine, do you like or do you love? Love has been used so much, but if you really love, it holds its ground. You can't go from love to hate, back to love. So that's the thing that I hear when I hear new hip hop artists. There's some that they may not never make it, but I don't know. Sometimes they just have their time.
Right.
Their
Right.
time, but
Right.
and then I don't really follow as I used to.
Right. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Don't forget I was a comedian,
Right.
and when Run DMC asked me to come on tour with them, they needed another type of flavor. So they asked Chris Rock would he go on tour, and he declined. And then they came to DC and
I wonder,
talked to me.
Have you ever spoken to Chris about that?
I haven't. Even though I know Chris, we never talked about it. But I can understand his comedy wouldn't have worked in the arena. See, I was doing impressions, and then all of a sudden, me and one of the S1Ws, I put a gold chain on and started rapping. A is for Apple, and I was just being silly, A is for Apple, and J is for Jack. Cinnamon toasted Apple Jacks.
That's crazy because nobody wanted to mess with the
Right.
Right. Not at all.
W's, man.
They
Get
look like
hands and feet put on you
Yeah.
quick.
right.
Well, they were thorough, and that's who I toured. I was on the tour bus with them, Chuck and Flavor, and they was thorough, but they were real cool guys. And by the way, one of the S1Ws live around the corner from me in Maryland, in Bowie, Maryland.
Okay.
They live right around the corner. Mikey Love.
Man, I'm like, and it was a crazy time back then. You was around, like, I'm gonna say hip hop wasn't infant.
Don't make me too old.
But
now.
it was.
I even tell my grandkids, don't even call me granddad. Call me dude. And they say, "What's up, old dude?"
But see,
Old dude is crazy.
Hip hop was in this like teenage, I'm like early teens,
Right.
adolescent years, if you will.
Right.
You know, so it was in this early stages, and you were able to connect with our hip hop heroes at an early age. How was it being around that growth and seeing it actually like flourish right before your eyes? It was like, you know, it grew into something
Right.
that's worldwide now, and now you see it and you like, wow, this thing
is.
was like this small and now it's this big.
Well, the crazy thing is, when I used to tour with Run DMC, Will Smith, me, Flavor Flav, and Jam Master Jay. No, me, DMC used to talk every night after the tour.
Man,
That was our little gang.
I just want to be a fly on the wall.
We used to get together and we used to sit and just talk. And when I started hosting Rap City, they didn't even know how to present hip hop. They had me a teleprompter, and they was like, "Yo, what's up, homettes and homies? Welcome to Rap City." And then Will Smith, during a commercial break, Will Smith looked at my producer and said, "What are you doing to Chris Thomas?"
Right.
She was like, "What are you talking about?" He said, "Look, he traveled with us for years. He knows hip hop. Just let him be himself."
Right.
And that's when Rap City, when you talk about all the skits that I used to do,
right.
that's when they started asking questions. Well, what you want to do? I said, well, first of all, I want to get out of this studio. I want to get off this bench,
Right.
and I want to go out and present hip hop the way I see it when I travel with these guys. When they're throwing, punching each other, playing
Right.
basketball,
Right.
cracking jokes on each other. I
Right.
want to show them doing other things that they do.
That they're real people.
Right, that they're real people, and that's when everything opened up, and that's what I want to thank Will Smith, because I was a little afraid to just tell him, look,
Right.
but Will could.
Right.
I'm
Right.
like,
Because he's Will Smith. At
this
the
is
time.
a BET university.
Right.
You know, they'll fail you and bring in somebody else.
Right.
So,
I saw that you said one of your iconic moments on Rap City was going to Seattle and interviewing Sir Mix-a-Lot. That was
Sir
one of the first
Mix-a-Lot,
ones.
yes, that was our first travel.
Right.
Where we went and hung out with Sir Mix-a-Lot, and went to the Space Needle. So, I mean, it was new, even though I was a traveling comedian.
Right.
But hosting a rap video show after everybody auditioned, I mean, we talk about Carl Payne, everybody auditioned
Man.
for. And I wore a Tor jean outfit.
Nice.
They was wearing bow ties.
Right.
suits.
So you already came hip hop.
I
so-
came hip hop.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
You was
right,
looking
right.
the part, you know?
But then I was also on the game show that BET had called Tell Me Something Good.
Right.
Right.
And I was getting a lot of fan mail.
Right.
So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but they
I'm
did
sure it
know.
did.
They did know that I was the host of all the rap tours back in the day. You know, I can just. It's crazy, man. How many hip hop artists from Slick Rick, the things that I seen, Heavy D's dancer falling off the ramp.
Freeze Trouble
Yeah, that's
T-Roy.
crazy.
And
Trouble
posting
T-Roy,
that to
yeah.
it and
Rest in
seeing
peace.
that happen and
Damn.
telling you what Tupac was doing, because that was his boy.
Right.
Tupac, man, Tupac sobbed. I mean,
Wow.
he was in touch with his spirit side because Tupac cried, bro. He was like, "Come on, Trouble T-Roy, come on," and Flavor was. So I just the memories and never forgetting.
Yeah.
Right.
Do you remember that very first day, I guess, on the job, at Rap City, the cameras turn on? Like, what are you thinking?
I was nervous.
Yeah.
I mean, that's always because you don't want to make a mistake. And of course,
Right.
first time reading the teleprompter,
Right.
I mean, you don't know what word is coming up. See, I'm the kind of person like to pre-read before I do anything.
Right.
Right.
You know, that ain't my specialty.
Right.
Just put some words up, and then all of a sudden, that's what happened when I introduced David Chappelle, right? I looked at his name, and I thought it was Chappelle, and I said Chappelle Lee.
Right.
Hey, we ain't mad at you. We were talking about a artist the other day, and we were calling them shitty.
Yeah.
And it's spelled 80s, but
Yeah,
it looked like
it's
shitty.
Really?
Oh, damn.
Yeah, that shit was crazy.
That's crazy.
Mr. Cooper,
Yes, sir.
what was your early days of hip hop like?
Early days of hip hop, we going back to Public Enemy.
Okay.
Public Enemy, back then when rap first started, it was to enlighten and uplift the black community. It was brand new. A lot of young men had to, there was a lot of drugs being sold, a lot of destruction of the black community. So when Public Enemy came out, and I forgot his name, you called his name a while ago.
Chuck D.
Nas,
Chuck D.
Chuck
And that's
D.
what that video was about, Night of Living
Absolutely.
Bassheads.
Right.
Cool Mo D. These brothers was spitting knowledge back then.
Right.
And now, when I compare what we started out with what we have now, like a Sexy Red, I see an entirely different industry, and I see an industry that's destroying our culture as well as the way other people around the world see us, because that's the only thing that they perpetuate is the mispronunciation of words. Now, you talk about wordsmiths. I mean, Chuck D was a bad boy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I mean, this brother announced, pronounced, and expressed themselves. All of them did back then. But now, I mean, we went from that to mumble rap to now just totally just disgusting rap.
Right. So that's why probably Kendrick was saying hip hop is dead now.
Right.
From
Yeah.
what some of the
I mean,
transitions we got.
the thing, and this, I've always felt like this. Like I'm one of the I'm a product of hearing words that I didn't know what they was growing up, hearing the rapper say them,
Right.
and wanting to look them up to
Absolutely.
see what he was saying, because I didn't want to not be in the know. And
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like back in the day, if you didn't know, it wasn't cool not to know.
Absolutely.
Like nowadays, it's like, I don't know, and they say it with so much pride. Like,
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't want to know. Like,
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
To be ignorant is cool.
Yeah,
Right.
Which
it's-
is crazy.
But there's a lot of artists that you haven't seen that will never get the platform
Yep.
to shine.
Right.
And that's why he might be talking about his fellow
Right.
artists
Right, no doubt.
that he's comparing to. He's not talking about the thousands of
Hip hop as a whole.
hip hop artists that's trying to get on
Right.
that may never be seen.
Right.
So I don't think it's dead, because there are some young folks probably want to do some old school type of rap, not just by choice.
Right.
It's just them
It's
in
in
their
them,
heart.
In
You
their
know.
heart.
And
Facts.
it's crazy because the game is so saturated now. I'm like, people just flooded with everything. I'm like, you got independent artists flooding it, and they're making the music thinking this to get them noticed, and it might not even be them. They're making inauthentic music. They're making music that they feel like would be trendy, and
Yeah,
you
I-
have to dig for the gold now.
It seems like it's more of a product now than it is an art.
Right, exactly.
That's
Money.
exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's
Everybody
exactly
want money.
what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all it is about money. And then they will sample everybody. So you understand?
Yeah.
When you start spitting lyrics and you sound like somebody else,
Yeah.
Right.
then you're not being that creative.
Right.
We
Absolutely.
understand that you can say, love, girl, I love you, or I take care of you.
Yeah.
But after you hear that a couple of times, I guess you can then just say, well, that's a different person saying it.
That's all you can say. That's all you
Didn't
can say.
sound the same.
Yeah, right. It didn't sound like this person, but yeah.
Hey, we talked about Public Enemy. Quan, go to number 5 on there for me, please. You got a clip of the video you were in, Night of the Living Basshead. So
Bankers, Sherelle Winters, and Flavor Flav.
Yeah, boy! Yo, bust the move.
Flavor Flav.
In today's edition of
Right, don't call them
PETV
flavor.
News, we'll explore the devastating effects drugs are having on our society in what is now termed the Basehead Syndrome. We'll also feature the controversial group Public Enemy and their new album, It Takes a Nation of Millions to Hold Us Back, which is causing ruckus everywhere.
Here it is. Bam! In your face.
Damn,
This is a dope jam. But let's define the term called dope, and you're thinking me funky now. No, you know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, Cheryl, kick the ballistics, G.
Up front, an ultra-hyper faction known as the Brown Bags lodged a protest today against rap music.
Yo, bust this, man. Yo, listen to Flav, man. Yo, right here live, covering for the protest for PETV Live is my homeboy, Chris, man.
There you go.
Well, you know, Chris, all
You know what I'm doing,
rap
Rodney
noise
Dangerfield.
and
Right.
violence associated with it is bringing our country to its knees, and we're not going to stand for it anymore. And we, the Brown Bags, have a plan to put an end to it all.
The Brown
Here
Bags.
is a true tale. Why the ones that deal, all the ones that fail, yeah. You can move if you wanna move. What it prove?
Play it.
You feel like the groove. The problem is this. We gotta fix it. Check out the
MC
This
Light.
is MC Light
Light.
coming live and direct from PETV. In the never-ending search for the bass heads, we've come to a new hiding place. Yeah, that's right, Wall Street.
Check out the justice and how they run it.
Man, the creativity, but also the truth.
Right, exactly.
You know, at the same time, and the entertainment all in one.
But you know where I get a lot of love for the big part in the video,
Right.
Where I go into the young lady's house.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah. That that
Was
was
it Lawanda? What was her name?
This is Lucy's house.
Yeah.
And this is what happens to families when one of the members becomes a bass. Now, I'm doing Richard Pryor now. Basing is crazy. Look at the family. Look at the kids.
You know what was crazy about that video? Seeing that part when you went into the house, that was low key scary for me as a kid. When I seen that, I was like, man, that's crazy. Like just seeing that, like just even though it was like, it was all acting and depiction or whatever, but
she played her part, didn't she?
Yeah, and then you seeing you seeing this in real life growing up. Like
Right.
I'm from Detroit, so I'm seeing this in real life.
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I mean. And then seeing that on TV, I was like, man, that's crazy, bro. Like that was the no say no to drugs campaign for me right there.
Absolutely.
Right there, I was like, I don't want to touch nothing.
Yeah, you don't become a bass head.
Like I was like, man, I don't never want to look like that guy.
Go to number 7 on there for me, Quan. Have you ever seen this depiction of the Night of the Living Bassheads? The artist drew that right there.
No, I haven't.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, so it says this is an alternative interpretation of an infamous hip hop music video from the late '80s, Public Enemy's classic
And
track.
that's supposed to be
Night of the
me?
Living Bassheads. Yes, sir.
Wow. Got my eyes so big.
He said,
I wasn't smoking. Oh my God. That's nice. Kind of look like Chris Tucker a little bit too.
Right.
Hey, man.
Yeah, I figured you never seen that before, but that's
I've never.
definitely
Send
a dope
that to
animated
me.
drawing. I definitely got you.
Yeah. You see, you got the MC Light in there and everything.
Yeah,
That's probably my favorite drop.
Wow.
Man.
I've never seen that.
Oh, the
Yes,
MC
sir.
Light.
Classic.
Yes, sir.
But now, guys, when you listen to Basshead and you are looking at some of that video, it shows you the transition of where we were and where our heads were as young people, just like you said. You saw that and you said, I don't want to be like that. I don't want to look like that.
Yeah.
It inspired you to move on to something bigger, better, and much more positive as opposed to what we're being inundated with now.
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely.
And they was more like you. Slim always just likes to say intentional about their message.
Absolutely.
Right.
They put it out there, and they was like, we see this going on when we know it's wrong. Even though our friends might be selling dope, they might be the guys around, and we might even have friends that's doing dope, but we know it's wrong.
Yes.
So we're not gonna just put it out there like just because my friend does it, it's cool and we ain't gonna say nothing about it. We're gonna put it out there like, no,
Absolutely.
this ain't the path you want to go down. And I like the fact that they were doing that. These days they don't do that.
Yeah.
These days, it's more of like, if they popping pills, they putting it
Be
in their
you.
song.
Do yourself.
Right.
And we'll talk about you once you dead.
Right.
Or locked up.
Right.
That's the way it goes.
And what's crazy is the powers that be have pushed that music out and brought all the stuff that
But I can tell you, when I was on tour with Public Enemy, their biggest crowd was white kids.
Right.
Absolutely.
Those arenas was packed.
Yeah.
And they were listening to Chuck D. Now, I'm saying he wasn't talking anything crazy.
Right.
He wasn't saying black folks hate white folks hate black
Right.
folks.
No,
he was
no.
just giving a knowledge about their stand and the stand they should have, because all of us should have white, Chinese, Latino friends.
But it's crazy because of the I see arenas getting filled with the white kids because they were so curious
Right.
about a world that they always was told, like, don't be over there. You'll never see this. These people ain't about this or whatever. Because, in those days, racism was being pushed in the homes, So
Still
now.
is.
But go to Silicon Valley.
Right.
And bring one of those older groups like Public Enemy.
And they'll
Packed
fill
out.
up. Yep.
It's packed. All those rich kids, they will come and see.
Yep.
I did the All-Star game this past year with Rick Barry, the basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
I hosted they made him a deputy.
Oh.
Of San Francisco, honorary deputy.
Okay.
And so the people from Google and everything, and that's all they want is old hip hop.
That's crazy.
That's all they want is old hip hop.
That's crazy.
And it's just like Sir Frank,
right,
with his introduction of giving all these awards to the Eddie Murphys.
Right.
And I'm talking about they sent him acceptance letters.
That's crazy.
Whoopi Goldberg.
That's crazy.
The other night, Dwayne from What's Happening Now.
Right.
And Marsha Warfield.
Right.
So you have to understand, it coincides with what I've done
right,
with hip hop by him giving awards to not just black comedians, but comedians that he thought that weren't being treated fairly.
Right. Paul Rodriguez.
Right. Paul.
Sir Frank Cooper, I'm like, it almost seems like you and Chris Thomas was like destined to link up, because y'all, I'm not gonna say y'all have a totally similar path, but y'all have the same type of goal of being these, trailblazing people in these fields that you have. I've looked up the AHAs,
right,
and I've seen the awards you was able to give to people. When you say LaWanda Page, I'm like, wow, that's crazy. Aunt Esther, Fish Eye Food. I'm like, come on, man.
And guess who gave him a gold album?
That's crazy.
Dolomite gave him his gold album because that was the first award he ever got.
Quan, pull up number 15, please.
The movie that Eddie Murphy played, Dolomite, 4 years ago.
Right.
That particular movie was about the makings of Rudy Ray Moore's first album.
Right.
That album, that is where they made their mistake. They never told anybody in that movie that album 70 years ago went gold back then.
Wow.
Dolomite was the first Master P to start doing advertisement out of the trunk of his car. So he would travel different places. That's right. Wow. Okay, so Dolomite was the first one to do that. And in the whole movie, they never mentioned that album was that successful back then.
Right.
And after we honored Rudy Ray Moore, Red Fox, Richard Pryor, Flip Wilson, Dick Gregory, LaWanda Page, Marla Gibbs, Arsenio Hall, Eddie Murphy, Keenan
Goldberg.
Ivory Wayans, Whoopi Goldberg. After we honored all these legendary comedians, okay, they all got together through a dinner in my honor a month later, thanking me for creating this award show. And at that dinner, and it's on film, you can go online and actually look at it on Facebook. Him giving me that album was captured on film and is playing on Facebook right now. Him giving that gold album to me. And these people never even knew when they made the movie that album had gone gold.
That was the album in that picture right there?
That's the album that was in that picture.
So also in that same picture, there's another award.
Yes.
If I'm right, that's an award that you gave to Eddie Murphy.
Eddie
that he
Murphy.
didn't pick up in
He never
1990
picked it
or
up.
something
That's
like
right.
And the one for Whoopi Goldberg.
And I still have those items right to this day. Hadn't been able to get in touch with these people. Now, see, this is where, let's go back to hip hop for a minute.
Okay.
Now, you said something that was very profound, and that is the powers that be create the narrative. And we, as creators of these genres, buy into their narrative, even though we are the creators. And we give the steering wheel to them and tell them, drive us wherever you want. And that's where we are with hip hop now,
Absolutely.
as opposed to where we started. Because when you start talking about rich people in Simi Valley coming out, their kids coming out to see what we've done, we as a people need to understand the kind of power and influence we have across the world. Okay, not just here in America. Hip hop is all over the world. All right, look at the Koreans. You can't understand what they're saying, but damn it, you know that style. Why?
Absolutely.
Because you created it.
K-pop.
And this is why this is so important that we pass these legacies and this history on, so we won't wind up repeating it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And let me say one thing. I remember when he told me that Jay Leno,
yes,
from the Tonight Show,
right,
came aboard and he gave an award. Jay Leno, can he tell you that quick story about Jay Leno when you went to see Jay Leno?
I'd love to hear it.
When I was I wanted to honor George Wallace, and I was catching the devil trying to get in touch with George. So I went to California and just drove to Jay's garage. And I said, "Is Jay Leno here?" He was like, "No, he's not here." I said, "Well, look, tell him that Sir Frank Cooper of the Ahas would like to honor him because Jay Leno, 30-some years ago, 40 years ago, him and George Wallace did a mini documentary about the Green Book of black comedians back in the day, where they had to live, where they had to eat, how they had to travel, the different places they could and could not go." Well, he did a documentary. And when I saw that documentary, I said, well, this man has furthered the careers of so many black comedians by having them on his show. We need to honor this man. And when I told him we were going to honor him, Jay jumped up and down. He came, he accepted his award, and he did turn it out. Now, in his acceptance speech, he had the people dying. And then George Wallace came on, and he accepted his. And I'm going to tell you, man, George, of course, turned it out. Absolutely. So it turned out to be very good.
And then, because y'all if you watch the Good Times, Jay Leno was on Good Times.
Right. I remember.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I've watched every episode of Good Times.
Okay.
Trust
Absolutely.
me. Yeah, that was an iconic show growing
Absolutely.
up.
Absolutely. Yes. So that is why it is very important. And now I will tell you, I am so impressed with what I see. I see
Fifth
5
Element.
young black men.
Yes, I do.
5 young black men that's got the ability to influence so many people with what you all are doing here in this studio. I am very impressed. And I want you all to maintain that momentum. You know, stop the negative stuff. Right. Do not refer to each other's as the end, this and end that. That's not a term of endearment. When the last time you ever heard a Chinese man call another Chinese man my chink? When have you ever seen a white guy call another white guy my cracker? When have you ever seen a Mexican man call another Mexican man wetback? They don't do that because that's a name that was heaped upon them by the powers that be once again. And what did they do? They allow them to drive that bus with the narrative. We buy into it, thinking it's cool. It is not cool for any black man to refer to another black man based on what your grandfather, great-grandfather went through in this country. There's no way in hell you can tell me it's a term of endearment, especially when you are in mixed company. That's my speech for that.
And we was having a joke last night as we were driving down the boulevard. And I said they might have a casino one day called Nigga Eyes.
Absolutely.
But I told him, terrible. But I told him that place gonna be packed.
Right.
It would be.
Wouldn't it be?
Definitely would.
They do got a place in Africa called that.
Really?
Yeah.
Niggas.
It's called that. I forget which part. I want to say Ghana somewhere.
No, it's Nigeria.
Nigeria. Yeah, they got a store called. It's the store. Yes. I'm like, are you serious?
Yes.
But I mean, not in a bad point, but hey.
I was watching the comedian Godfrey the other day, and he said the cat was calling him the N-word, and I thought he was talking about where I'm from. I thought he was talking about my hometown.
The mispronunciation.
Right. But what's crazy though is not only black people call each other the N-word, it's all races are saying the N-word, calling Mexicans are calling themselves that. But yeah, it's wild.
Yeah,
I mean, like if Barack was here, what would you say to Barack? He would say, everybody, it's great for me to be here with the Fifth Element. I just want to say that you're DJs, but you bring up the truth about America. You know, Michelle said the other day that she glad that she didn't have a little Barack.
You didn't bring that up.
She did. She did say that.
I was pissed. I was pissed at Michelle.
That's wild.
So speaking of you and doing these voiceovers, Quan, go to number 10 for me, please. Yeah, you got that down pat.
That rock is crazy.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
This is a clip of some of your stand-up.
Bernie Mac, Muhammad Ali, Jesse Jackson, Billy D. Williams went to an orgy one time. Bernie, look, we all gonna hit this pussy. Bernie like, Chris, I'm gonna hit that motherfucker good. I'm gonna tell that motherfucker that's what I'm gonna do. Muhammad Ali was anxious. Hurry up, I want me some juice. That's him, I ain't lying. That's him. Damn, motherfucker.
Why you doing it, Jam?
Jesse Jackson.
I'm gonna tell you after this.
Way. Billy D. Williams like, let the good times roll. So I start hitting it doggy style. You know how a female, she bends over, that vagina smell, and then that butthole crack open.
Jesus.
Like, Bernie Mac was getting anxious like, Chris, hurry up, I want some of that motherfucker juice. I can smell that ass. I'm afraid of that ass.
That's crazy.
I want to give me some. My name is Chris Thomas.
Yeah.
Yo, you was wilding on that shit right there.
This shit is crazy, bro.
That is crazy.
Oh boy. Have you always been able to
Do impressions?
Yeah, do impressions. Excuse me.
Yeah, yes. Kind of wild. I had this infatuation with Superman. And I guess by the powers that be, the Almighty God, I actually jumped off a house. I went to the roof.
So did I when I was young. So did I.
Oh wow.
I put a towel on and I said,
So did I.
I don't care if I'm not going to put no glasses on. I want them to know that I'm Superman. And I jumped off that roof.
Oh wow.
And then all of a sudden I started, I guess, mimicking. I started seeing Donald Duck and Yogi Bear. And like Jay Farrell. Jay Farrell is phenomenal.
Right.
Yeah.
And a girl named Sylvia Traymore, she is out of sight. And I don't know, man. It's just doing the impressions. It's just me. I don't do them as much as I used to. I don't study them anymore.
Right.
I just come up with my basic stuff.
Right.
Jesse Jackson's.
Right.
Moments of joy, happiness, bounds of unmistakable. But I like doing the old ones, because that's where I grew up.
Right.
With the George Burns. Hello there. This is George Burns. Hey, by the way.
You need the big cigar and shit.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or Bill Cosby. I just want to say to the Fifth Element that I don't remember. Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, I tell you, I get no respect, Last week I told my wife, let's have some oral sex. She spit on me,
Let's have.
Look, man. Like, that's wild.
Guys, I have this is no lie. I have a jumping off the roof story right quick. When I was little, back then, TV was kind of early.
Right.
And we believed a lot of things that we saw on TV. We really did. Well, my older brother, talked me into flying like Superman. So he talked me into, now this is in Alabama, a tin roof house, okay? Shotgun house, as a matter of fact. He said, go up on the roof, get mother's apron tied around your neck, and you can fly just like Superman. I want you to do it first because you're smaller, and you can show me how to do it when I jump. So I said, okay. I get on top of the doggone house, mother's apron tied around my neck. I jump off the doggone roof of the house, springs my ankle. I'm hollering, crying in the yard on the ground. Mother comes out of the house. What's going on? My brother standing on top of the roof. He said, well, Rufus decided to just jump off the roof. I said, you told me to do it. Mother goes back in the house, get a belt, come back out. I'm on the ground and starts to beat me on the ground with a broken ankle. Okay? Now, my brother wouldn't come down because he didn't want a whooping.
Right.
So mother said, okay, you going to stay on top of that roof until your daddy come home. Now, keep in mind, a tin roof house
Yeah, I know.
is hot in the summer.
Right.
We were throwing water up there to keep his butt cool. And when daddy came home, daddy said, why is he up on that roof? And mother said, he talked your son into jumping off. He broke his ankle. He sprained his ankle. Now he can't walk. Daddy said, okay, I'm going to whoop his ass on top of that roof.
Yeah.
Daddy got a ladder, went up on top of the roof and whipped my brother. And we never did this shit again.
Absolutely. I'm like, man.
But look at that. Look at the influence of what TV did. Made y'all think y'all could fly.
Absolutely.
So I parallel that to these, the younger generation and adults now looking at YouTube and believing everything internet, social media. You know what I mean, and the influence that it has.
Absolutely.
So if it can make you jump off the roof and think you can fly, imagine what these kids think they could do when they hear all these other entertainers who have, influence.
And think about what the fifth element is doing. What you guys are doing is influencing.
Absolutely.
And if you influence negativity, trust me, it'll come back on you.
Well, at least you're bringing it up and talking about
Absolutely.
Right.
You're talking about the things that people need to hear. And there are going to be some people, my buddy always say, some people are just not wired right.
Right.
Regardless on what you say, they ain't going to get it.
Right.
Period.
Yeah, well, I mean, what's the opening of the show?
Peace, love, unity, and having
Look
fun.
at that. I'm telling you,
You know what I'm
all
saying?
positive. All positive.
Shout out to Big Brother Busy B.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Busy B live out here in the city in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? I had him on the show, and he was giving us a history on, what the hip hop was like that then and how influential it was, and about the fun and all. You know what I'm saying?
And I don't even think that people even know that is the true mantra of hip hop is
Right.
peace, love, unity, and having fun. That's what it was created off of. I'm like, it's not something that Fifth Element made up. That's something that's been around since its inception. So, we definitely try to portray that in everything that we do. We don't speak on a lot of negativity. We'll speak about what's going on, and if it happens to be a negative subject, it's just something it's more news more than us perpetuating, a negative.
Like Diddy.
Yeah, the Diddy thing.
I hung out with Diddy. And the crazy thing
I left that out today.
I went to, when I did his tour, the P. Diddy Bad Boys of Comedy tour, he gave me just much love. Like, we went to his studio. He was like, Chris, man, thank you for what you've done for hip hop. And I didn't know he was having them freak outs.
Even after he passed the bottle of baby oil to you?
Well, he could have invited me. I would have brought my own baby. Now, I would have told him, look, Diddy, we ain't going to have none of that hitting and kicking on these people. So come on back here and get the freak on. And I'm going in the room with this girl, right?
You know what's crazy about that story and the narratives is that everybody feels like if you attended one of these parties that you was a part of all of the debauchery and all that.
Right.
But if you know what the climate was back then, his parties was the biggest parties, in the industry. So everybody went to party. That don't mean that you was a part of the craziness that happened after. You just went to the party. I'm like, if you would have invited me to a Puff Daddy party in the 90s, I would have went. I was
Exactly.
like,
Somebody's having one right now.
No, I wouldn't have stayed for that.
Somebody's having one.
I have no sense to not be involved with no craziness.
Somebody's having one right now.
Absolutely.
Don't forget, there's always going to be someone that's going to hear about what he did and going to say, not me.
Right.
Not going to happen to me.
Well, I will tell you guys, I used to go to the Playboy Mansion in Beverly Hills.
He got a story.
Yeah. And on 2 occasions when I was there partying, our president of the United States and Epstein came in. Now, I never saw him, but I knew he was there because whenever they would come, on those 2 occasions I was there and he came, all the girls would run and hide because they just didn't want to have anything to do with him.
Oh, wow.
And that's gospel.
Were they running around like topless, naked?
Oh man, Playboy was up. I mean, Hugh Hefner created.
Yeah, this the Hugh Hefner house.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Right.
I mean,
That's crazy.
it was. You talking about debauchery? I've seen some things.
He had a section called the Grotto.
Yeah,
The Grotto?
Yes.
Yeah.
The swimming pool area.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And you could get behind the falling waters of the grotto and do whatever you want. I mean, all kinds of stuff.
But ask yourself, have you ever been to a sex party with you, your boy, and 3 or 4 women?
I've never been.
I know I have.
I definitely have.
I have. I mean,
A party?
A party?
Yeah,
No.
but I mean, that's something they wanted to participate in.
Right.
You don't get me wrong now. It was money involved. It's money involved now.
Right.
Oh boy.
All
Oh
right.
boy. Absolutely.
Yeah, but back then it was funning.
I'm telling you, it was
And-
orgies. I've attended orgies. Oh man, my background. See, there's a piece that you did not find out about me. I was a professional gigolo at one time.
He was.
We got to do the Fifth Element Hip Hop late night.
He said professional gigolo. I'm like,
I'm gonna tell you the truth. He was. He was.
Absolutely.
They even have a documentary about it on TV. He was. We talking about Sunoco, Exxon, we talking about dating those type of people.
Yes.
They was paying him
Yes.
money.
Oh yeah, we definitely we need more conversation.
Damn, man. I'm like,
right,
so Frank Cooper, man, you got a pass.
Right. Quan, can you go to number 12 on there for me? Speaking of documentaries, just this past weekend, you guys did you hosted. You guys had a Ronaldo Ray.
Ronaldo Ray. It was
Tribute.
excellent.
Okay.
It was excellent. Ronaldo, he was one of those guys that didn't become a superstar, but he became well known because he was funny.
Yes.
He was very his character. See, we was at BET together. We actually did the first comedy special on BET when Robin Harris was living.
Okay.
And he was the host, and we became friends that way. So it was true that Cat Williams and all of those guys spoke, and they was telling the truth. Marshall Warfield was there.
Big Red.
Big Red and
Big Red.
I call him Dwayne from
Hawthorne James.
Yeah, Hawthorne James was there.
and Dwayne from What's Happening Now.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yes.
So everybody had a good time. Ronaldo was a good friend, and he used to always say, "Me and the devil got a deal worked out," and I used to hate when he said that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, indeed. Well, we honored him because a man named Marcus Head had gotten the rights to his life story. So he put a documentary together, and we debuted the documentary at this ceremony this past Sunday night. Nice. And these were some of the people that were in the documentary, Marshall Warfield and some of the others. They showed up to speak on what it was like working with him. And it was a production of the Ahas. We produced it because, once again, we're about preserving and paying tribute to some of the people that paved the way for some of these comedians that's making millions of dollars now that never give any recognition for anybody that paved their way. Right. So that's what our organization is about.
And what did Jeru do? Jeru, he's just sitting over there and
Jura.
Jura.
I got a question for him coming up in just a sec, though. Number 13 on there, Quan. This is just one of Ronaldo Ray's historic clips from House Party 3. So I had to put it on here.
I remember that.
That's the rule. Cut you.
And Bernie Mac.
I want all of you out of my house now. I expect
some shit from you.
Damn, I better get some respect from you motherfuckers now. I'm to pop a cap in your little ass. I'm that crazy old bitch. And I bust a cap in your ass if it wasn't for my daughter. Now I want all of you out of my goddamn house. Out damn spot. All of you motherfuckers.
Okay, you let it go. There we go.
Boy, that was a wild scene right there.
That movie was funny.
It was.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite scenes from House Party 3, man, for real. That was crazy.
All right, and then respectfully on this, number 14, Quan, if you guys had the chance to bring one comedian back that passed away out of this picture right here, you got Ronaldo Ray, Robin Harris, Patrice O'Neal, Bernie Mac, Richard Pryor, and, of course, Paul Mooney. If you could bring one back.
I knew all four of them, and I used to work. I used to work next to Richard Pryor's wife that he married out of D.C. We worked for the. We were newspaper solicitors. We try to get people to buy the newspaper. Mm-hmm. But the one that I would probably bring back is Bernie Mac.
Mm-hmm.
Because Bernie Mac was real cool. We used to go on the road after the show. We used to, he would automatically just pay $3,000 and tell a restaurant to stay open. Wow. And that's why he had the belly, because he would drink 3 Miller Lights. He would drink 3 Miller Lights, and I don't know. And Robin Harris, but me and Bernie, we kicked it. Mm-hmm. You know, Paul Mooney, you know that motherfucker right. You know what he said. You know what he said.
Yeah.
But Bernie would probably be, because Bernie, I mean, we all gonna miss Richard Pryor, but that'd just be. I just say Bernie.
Okay.
I would say Bernie.
Mr. Cooper.
I would have to go with Paul Mooney because Paul Mooney labeled something years ago that's still relevant today. He coined the phrase, "You got that in wake-up call." And we got so many brothers right to this day that's getting that call.
You got your wake-up call.
You got that wake-up call.
Michael Jackson got his wake-up call.
And I knew Paul. I knew all these guys.
He got his wake-up call.
I knew them all. So I would definitely say Paul Mooney. And then I would say Robin Harris because when Robin Harris created the character, this is no lie, when he created the character, Baby Kids, myself, D.L. Hughley, and a guy named Daryl Savard was sitting in his living room, and we were the first ones to hear that routine. And we told him, you got to do that routine when you go to the club tonight.
And Paul Mooney was the writer for Richard Pryor.
Absolutely.
And see, something else I said the other day that he was, when Richard Pryor was self-destruct and almost killed himself, then it took a little bit of something from me because he could be dead.
Yes.
Right.
You know, from burning himself up.
Right. Yes.
And that right there took a little bit of his integrity, even though I think he was the king because he got it all started. But that was one of the reasons why. But Bernie was just real cool.
Oh, wow.
Well, there's 3 stages of comedy I want you guys to keep in mind. It started out with Dolomite. You're talking about a man that wrote, directed, produced, distributed, and acted in all of his movies. Okay, that was way back in the day.
Right.
That was that era. Then you move to the Red Fox era, which included people like Ronaldo Ray and Paul Mooney, as well as Richard Pryor. And then you move to the Richard Pryor area, and that created the Eddie Murphys and everybody else to come along. So it's 3 stages. Now we're getting ready in 2026. We're going to be handing down the Rudy Ray Moore, Red Fox, Richard Pryor Lifetime Achievement Award to one of these 5 comedians. It's either going to be Dave Chappelle, Martin Lawrence, Chris Rock, Cat Williams, or there's another one, Jamie Foxx.
And I want to just add to it, I would love all 6 of them to be living.
Yes, absolutely, without a doubt.
I really would.
Did you guys have any relationship with like Patrice O'Neal? Because he was one of my favorites too.
I didn't.
Patrice catered mostly to the white audience. Funny as hell. You should look at some of his stand-up. Funny as hell, but mostly just like Dave Chappelle. When Dave Chappelle started out, Dave Chappelle's audience was mostly white. He didn't become known to the black community until he created that show that he did, the Chappelle Show.
Right.
So Patrice catered to whites, as well as, I'll tell you another one that's very funny. God dog it. I see his face clear as day. His name just went right out of my head. But anyway, Patrice catered to whites as well as Dave Chappelle. And then they started moving into the black community. And once they started moving, once again, guys, Fifth Element, keep in mind, you guys are a catalyst. I'm looking at a catalyst. Once again, they really did not become popular and start making money until who got behind them? Black people.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind.
Yeah.
We are powerful. We just allow other people to take the damn steering wheel when we create the car. And I hate that.
Well, what I can just say
told.
what we're talking about, because I introduced David Chappelle when he was 14 years old on stage, and that was his first time. His intellectual
yes,
intelligence
yes,
catered more to white folks because he was speaking their language.
Yes.
Right.
And black folks, as we're slang.
Right.
Make it simple. Don't, instead of saying hello, say what's up.
Right.
Or you look very sophisticated. You look real cool. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we kind of shorten our words.
Right.
To get to our point.
To get to our
Yes,
point.
absolutely.
And they were saying the words. I mean, that's what English is for, right?
Right. To use it.
Yeah, if you see a lot of black kids mispronouncing words now, there's no reason for it, unless they're from a third world country.
And I will tell you something about Dave Chappelle. What makes Dave so unique and his comedy is so unique because he's a thinking man comic. And what makes him so compelling is Dave is the only comedian out of all the comedians I've been around that can tell a joke. He can give you the punchline from the beginning.
Right.
Tell the joke backwards, and you will laugh just as hard as when he started out.
Yeah.
I've never seen another comic do that. Never.
Yeah, I seen him do that on one of the last specials where you said he had a joke bowl and he pulled it out and the punchline was
Absolutely.
But all comedians, white, black, Chinese, don't care what, we're all in it together now.
Right.
And as I say all the time, it's not about me, it's not about you, it's about us.
And it's about laughter.
Right. It's about all of us. You know, right now, everybody, look at all these interracial couples and everything like that.
Right.
We are as one now.
Right.
There is no, we're not separate anymore. And those who go that way, not too many good things are happening for them.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to be all as one. God just made us look different.
Right. That's all it is.
That's all. He only made us look different. All right.
All right, Quan, go to number 8 on there. We ain't got that much more time left. Jura, I want you to speak on this first, and then we're going to go to Mr. Thomas here. And I got this from Uncle Jam's Army on Facebook for the illest to ever do it. Rank the best lyricists in order.
Oh, this is a question for me?
Yeah, you ain't said nothing the whole show, so let's get a little conversation out of you. You got KRS-One.
The best lyricist in order.
Yep.
I would say Rakim, KRS-One. No, I would say yeah, damn, that's hard. I would say Rakim, Big Daddy Kane, then KRS-One, then Kool G Rap. Those are 4 dope MCs right there.
Right.
So
I think that might have been my order too.
Yeah.
Rakim.
Same here.
Okay.
Now now I'm gonna tell you something. I think Snoop, his album that he had, Doggy World.
Doggy Style.
Doggy Style, that's one of my favorite albums.
Yeah, most definitely.
One of mine too.
Right. Classic Club today.
Right. One of mine too. I'm like, shit, I don't know too many people who ain't their favorite album. That shit was crazy.
And let's not forget Public Enemy, Chuck D.
Oh, man.
Absolutely.
Fight the Power, because that's like number 2 of all time.
Yeah.
That was the Black Anthem back in the days, brother.
Is Public Enemy the best or greatest rap group of all time?
I don't know. They had separated for a while, and they're supposed to go on tour with Guns N' Roses.
That's
So I'm pissed because they don't want to take Terminator X with them.
Now why?
Now, no, I don't know why.
Right.
But you're going on tour with Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
There's going to be a couple millions of dollars in there because Guns N' Roses is going to probably bring in $10, $20 million a night.
Right.
So why don't you bring in Terminator X? Why can't? He's on my radio show.
Right.
Okay.
As a co-host.
Dope.
Right.
And when he told me that they were going on tour with Guns N' Roses and they didn't want him to be there, I was very upset because he is the one they talk about.
Yeah, Terminator X.
Terminator, everything. Terminator.
Come on, man.
Man.
So
I had a shameless plug.
So I just don't feel that you preaching one thing, but then here go your man who got you there.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't know, bro.
Yeah, they got to figure that one out because we love to see Terminator X, period.
Yeah.
You know, the whole PE period.
Right.
Just
Definitely.
together.
Professor Griff and everything. Jura, what you got?
So I was going to say, be on the lookout for Beat Breaks, which is a part of the Melodious Experience hip hop segment. The first 2 artists we had was Davey Napalm and Vic Smith, but we might end up doing something with LaRon MC, who I'm interviewing tomorrow for my show.
Okay, shout out to LaRon MC.
Him and a brother named Bob Chan from back home in Chicago. So that's going to be the pair or whatever. Be on the lookout for that. And then one more thing, I think, please don't slip my mind. Okay. Yeah, so I have an interview with him tomorrow, LaRon MC. And, I'm trying to think. Well, it slipped my mind, but that was it.
I had to bring you some notes.
I know, right? I know.
Mm-hmm. Okay, number 17 on there, Quan. Mr. Cooper, this is a quote I saw that from one of your interviews, which was just pretty dope.
Okay.
It says, one of them is, laughter is the antidote to hatred, and through our efforts, we spread joy, love, and understanding, one healing laugh at a time.
Absolutely.
Pretty dope.
our mantra is PDR, and it stands for pride, dignity, and respect. As long as you give it, you should receive it. And you can receive it by the way you carry yourself. You don't have to ask for it, just by the way you carry yourself.
Absolutely.
Right. And the AHA's motto, laughter has no color,
so smile. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Man, love that.
Right. Right.
Love
Smile.
All that came to me through meditation. I meditate a lot. I've never drank, never smoked, never had a cigarette, beer, wine, nothing. And through my whole life, but I meditate a lot, and I learned how to do that when I spent some time in China, getting to know yourself. And with the upbringings of my father and what he taught us, pride, dignity, and respect, you can demand it without asking for it, based on the way you carry yourself.
The way you carry yourself, that's what's up.
Nice, man.
Yeah, I got a mantra of my own, man. You know what I'm saying? No, for real.
Bring it, brother. Bring it.
Music is therapy. Intention is key.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Love is the message.
Look at you.
There we go.
Look at you.
7725. Shameless.
My mantras are ratchet, so I ain't gonna say them.
All right, that is our time today, gentlemen. Not only were you the first host of Rap City, you were also a host of BET Comic View, Showtime at the
No, I
Apollo.
never did Comic View.
Oh, you didn't?
But I was the first comedian ever to host a rap tour.
Okay.
Right.
And a rap video show.
Okay, gotcha.
If they could do any Kings of Hip Hop, I got to be on it.
There you go.
And he auditioned for SNL again, like
Yeah, I did.
with Eddie Murphy.
Yeah,
you
they
know?
told me. I auditioned, and they told me the producer said if we didn't hire Eddie Murphy, Mr. Thomas, we would have hired you.
That's dope.
Now get out of here.
Crazy.
Right.
That is crazy. Yo, with that being said, hey, Chris Thomas, you have to tell the people where they can reach you at, where they can tap in with you and get more of these crazy stories that you got about the industry and life on tour and everything.
Well, if you can always check out me on my radio show. I got Terminator X on the show, Layla Lopez, Soren Baker, and Terminator and DJ Mad Links. It's KSHP Radio on 107.1 FM and 1400 AM in Las Vegas. Stream it.
Hey,
Stream it, and it comes on here in Vegas in your car. So just check it out. It comes on at 10 a.m. West Coast, 1 p.m. East Coast.
Yep.
Nice.
Tap in.
Right.
Tap in.
Tap in. Sir Frank Cooper, you have
Yes,
to tell us where they can reach you at.
You can reach me at itstheahas.com, or you can go to, if you really want to see Steve Harvey receive his very first award, go to sirfrankcooper.com, and you will see Steve Harvey receiving his first award. Before I say goodnight, guys, I want to commend you all for The Fifth Element.
Thank you.
You don't know just how important and how proud I am to see 5 black men and 1 white doing this show. Right. You guys are onto something, and please keep that positive energy going.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate the kind words. Thank you. Jura,
Yo,
tell people they can reach you at, man.
at The Real Jura on IG and Jura Shahid on Facebook. And you can also reach or find out more about our brand personally, Melodious Radio FM, at Melodious Radio 702 on IG. And yeah, you can also download the Radio Box app if you would like to tune in to our frequency. We play all the best in indie, soul, R&B, and hip hop. And that's Radio Box. You can go and download that on either Android or iOS or Apple or whatnot, and just type in Melodious Radio FM, MELODIOUS.
Bet. Ramo.
At RaySun724 on Twitter and IG, the Ray Sun Report on YouTube, 420 in Vegas, everywhere you listen to podcasts, and here, Fifth Element Hip Hop every week. Let's go.
Slumbo.
DJ Slim, DJ SLIMM, or you can reach me at black__transit and Fifth Element Hip Hop.
Yo, and you can reach me at OT from the D. That's OTFRUMTHAD on IG. The Fifth Element Hip Hop on IG as well. And you can reach us at www.fifthelementhip-hop.com on and click that link and subscribe button. When you click on that YouTube, make sure you tune in to us. Make sure you click that bell.
Yeah.
That way you get that notification every time we pop up and we go live and we have these extraordinary special guests. You know, we want to shout out to everybody that's been in the chat. You know, shout out to Back to the Lab and everybody else. Achille, everybody that's been in the chat.
Back to the Lab.
Give a shout out to Quan, Gorilla Cross Studios.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for allowing us to do this, man.
Speak life.
Yeah.
And we're about to get out of here, but shout out John Lavelle. He's in the studio with us today.
Yes, sir.
Shooting the pre-lessons, the drama series that we are acting in is coming out soon, so make sure y'all check it out.
Absolutely.
It's about to be dope.
Yes,
and other
sir.
than that, we are out.
And with that being said, man, we always go out like this. You know, we do
our sons.
Our sons usually take us out because they're usually here, but you know, my son's playing football and
My
7
son is definitely out doing this thing, DJing somewhere.
It goes like this: 1, 2, 3, 4,
5. And we out, y'all.
I'm gonna say 6.
Yeah. You already know that it's evident. You're rocking with East God, enough development. Probably should run for president. The Black Wolf walk in the woods, feel like the Revenant. I had to embellish it. MC on the beat, like OT from the D. Just pass me the rock, I'ma pull it up from the 3. I see strange things like 11. And when I'm on the mic, I get them hype like DJ 7 or DJ Slim in Hollywood like I'm Boog. They know I'm the one. Man, the knowledge come from the dreads. This X-ray son, peace, love, and unity. You gotta give it your best. And you say that you got them bars, or we gon' give them a test. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You ain't said right, please say it one more time.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.